where Paul says that all things are working together for the good. God is working something in you, even in the times of trials, even when you feel like this is not the way that I should, or this is not the way that I should be taken, or where I should be way ahead in life, and or how come I'm not married, or why
Mm,
was I born so short, or so tall, or so big bone, handicapped, or this or that. And I mean, there's so much. Or why was I born into this family, not that family? Um, Etc. There's
yes.
so many complaints, and I think that if you look at Scripture over and over again, if you look at the life of Job, you can look at the life of Joseph, and both of those will tell you they all went through heavy trial in their life, and even through the trial, God had their best interest at heart. Or
Mm,
forget their best interest, he had his own best interest in mind. God did. He
right.
had a plan that he was working through that. And so this is what he was saying. Don't complain. Because as Joseph said, what you guys meant for evil, God meant it for good.
In other words, sinners don't have a right to complain. It is not your world. It is not formed for your glory. It is not formed. This world was not formed for your liking. This is God's world. He is the potter. He knows how to handle. He knows what road you take. And it is his will that is perfect, good, and acceptable.
And I think that when we preach or when we speak about that specific verse, the word that we emphasize there is good. Oh, God meant it for good, good. Like good is going to come out of it, and it's our definition of good.
Mm,
That's not the emphasis that Joseph was making. Joseph was, or the emphasis that we should all get from that is that God meant it. God meant it. Like, that's crazy to think about that.
mm,
That God meant you being sold into slavery, that God meant you being in prison, that God meant you almost falling into temptation through, that God meant all of these things to
mm.
to to happen. So it's a crazy thought, but you know, another one that I can give you is Queen Esther. And when her uncle came to her and said, "Hey, who knows? Maybe God brought you to the kingdom for such a time as this." We preach that often, and we're like, "Yeah, you're in the kingdom for such," but we never ask the question: how did Esther get to the kingdom? How did God bring Esther to the kingdom?
Mm,
The way Esther came to the kingdom was because, oh man, it's such a dark story. Like there's a dark storyline behind all of this. The
yes.
way she got to the kingdom is because she was coming into the king's harem, and
Mm,
that's you were going to be used as a sex wife. You're coming in as a slave, as a sex, but hey, even in your darkest moments, that does not escape God. He's not the cause of evil necessarily, but God is using whatever the circumstances in your life are to bring good to his cause and the world's cause and whatever plan he's got in store. So I think that it's important that we say, Lord, wherever I am, I'm thankful because your will is being done.